Welcome to episode 547 of the Grit to Greatness Endurance podcast. We're your hosts, coaches Rich Soares and Lauren Brown, and we are on a mission to help endurance athletes train smarter, race stronger, and build the grit it takes to achieve greatness. This week's episode is all about one of the biggest performance separators in triathlon, that is running off the bike. Taking inspiration from the podcast last week with our running coach friend, Bobby McGee, we felt like this was the perfect time to dial in how to transition from bike to run with strength, efficiency, and confidence. We're going to break down why so many triathletes struggle in this phase. Why does it feel so hard? And give you some actionable strategies to help you run your best potential instead of surviving to the finish line. Hey, Coach Lauren, are you ready to do this?
I am absolutely ready to do this. I love talking about running off the bike because I think it's something that we all can use some help with and some reminders on. So I'm excited. Before we get into it, I'd love to go over some shout outs coming up for the weekend.
Woo!
All right. We've got, and I honestly, I love this time of year because how fun is it that it's like every single week we get to like cheer on our athletes and then celebrate them because we have so many people racing.
Can't make this up. That's awesome. Like our audience has got to love the just authenticity of this podcast.
I live in a city, guys. There's like always sound around.
That's all good. That's all good.
Yes.
But I agree. It is really fun. I mean, I was showing Nitu, one of our new athletes, she was like, she's ready to sign up for a race.
Yeah.
So we're shopping for races and I'm pulling up, running in the USA and I'm showing her there's one or two races every weekend here in Boulder and awesome. All that. And for us to have athletes every week in and week out that are racing and give them shout outs. It's blast. Yeah.
So shouting out our athletes that are racing this week, we've got Caroline Henry doing Lake to Lake in Loveland, Colorado. We've got Paul Hunziker doing Black Diamond Triathlon and where is that?
Enumclaw, Washington. I know. Who knew?
And then Kevin Bauer and Coach Rich. You guys are both doing Boulder Sunrise in obviously Boulder, Colorado. So we are super excited to track our athletes and see what they make happen on the course. And of course, you as well, Coach.
Yeah, well, thank you. I tell you what, this is my favorite part of the podcast. Sometimes just see the names, see what they've been working for, and here we get to celebrate them. Can I actually make another little announcement here? Just a little teaser.
Yeah.
I'm drinking out of my new Grit to Greatness mug. It's got this really cool, like white and green color, and it's green on the inside too. Except there's also coffee, so I can't show you too much. Mm-hmm. But it also has our values. What grit stands for us. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
These are
resilience, impact, transformation.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Thank you for the listening audience. And yeah, we'll have a link in the show notes. Also, if anybody wants to go to our store, you can go to our website. We've got a storefront on the website. Check it out. We've got we got all sorts of goodies. We've got all the tees, all sorts of colors and tees, including tie-dye.
Hold on. Do we got some trucker hats too yet, or are they up there yet?
The trucker. Hey.
Oh, yeah.
Trucker hat. Yo, I guess.
Mine's in the mail.
Yours is in the mail?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get yours too. These are awesome. They have, what I really love about this, we were showing them off at our coach mastermind group last night. April and I were. We showed that they have the Get Gritty slogan on the back. This isn't like printed. This is embroidered.
Yeah.
An embroidered logo, embroidered name, and it also has the same values on the bill. So that when you're running, this is you running, you can see the values as you're running.
Yep.
It's kind of cool, right?
So good.
Right there. Reminded me, be gritty.
Yep. It's how we roll.
All right. Totally. This is so much fun. All right. So listen, we inspired by the running segment last week with Coach Bobby McGee, getting ready to run off the bike myself this weekend. We thought a great question to discuss here is, first, Coach Lauren, give us one of the reasons that why running off the bike feels so dang hard.
So, one reason is due to neuromuscular fatigue, relearning how to run. It literally feels like that. So, for our friends out there who have not had a lot of experience running off the bike, I always compare it to feeling like a baby deer, right? When you when you see a baby deer walk and they're like, oh my God, what do I do with these things, right? That's kind of the feeling. So, when you're cycling, you're using a very specific motor pattern, right? You're primarily pushing down in a circular motion with relatively fixed hip positioning. So the moment you start running, your body has to switch to a completely different movement pattern involving impact, elastic rebound, and coordinated stride timing. Very different from what you're experiencing on the bike. And that sudden change creates a disconnect between what your brain is telling your legs to do and how they're responding. So this is why your legs can feel heavy, awkward like a baby deer, or uncoordinated in the first mile. So it's not just fatigue, it's literally this neuromuscular reset that has to catch up. And that's why sometimes I say it's like, that first mile, you're like, I don't know if I'm going to get it together. And then you do.
Yeah, I think that is like a really well described, you know, sensation that you have as a runner. And you know, I love the baby deer analogy. I think that's pretty good. For me, it's that reset, that neuromuscular reset. It's like almost like when you first get out of bed in the morning, you first put your feet down. Your feet haven't been on like it's like all of a sudden I'm rebalancing,
Yeah.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that kind of goes for the next reason that it feels so dang hard, which is the blood flow redistribution.
Yep.
On the bike, you've been utilizing your blood flow just to support that stable body position, the recruitment of the muscles that are turning the pedals around. But when you transition into running, your body's got to quickly redirect all that blood flow to support the impact based movement and additional muscle recruitment around the calves and the hamstrings and the foot and the stabilizing muscles and tendons. This transition doesn't happen like right away, right? I mean, like it's like, oh, wait a minute. Think about like how long it takes for blood. Think about how long it would take for blood being pushed by pressure from the heart to be pushed through your your cardiovascular system to the working muscles back to the heart to get reoxygenated to go back someplace else.
Yeah.
It takes a little bit of time for the body to do that.
Yeah.
So it's not immediate, which means like the first time when you first start running, you're going to be operating slightly behind in an oxygen delivery debt and the waste removal. So breathing. Oh, we'll talk about more about that later. But anyway, that constitutes the feeling of the effort feeling disproportionately high compared to your pace.
Yeah, and it makes me think of if you're doing strength training and you're going from maybe holding like a plank position, right? And you're holding a forearm plank. You ever have that feeling where you get up too fast from a forearm plank and you're now in this, you're in this prone position and you go to stand upright and all of a sudden you feel like, I think I'm gonna go right back down. I feel like your body, even just that quick adaptation, even just from like a 30-second plank to standing up, sometimes feels alarming and unsettling. And you might be going from an hour, 2 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours of a certain body position to also even just a different position. So something I kind of think about with that as well.
Yeah, that time, what you're saying about the time, like think about the difference it feels like from a sprint to a like half Ironman, like how stiff you feel,
Yeah.
You could see it even in Kona when the pros get off the bike in Kona. They're running off the bike, they're all stiff,
Yeah, it's a lot to adjust to. And that also leads into the next bullet of core fatigue and posture breakdown. So cycling places a constant demand on your core to maintain position, right? Especially if you're riding in aero, and especially in aero, right? So by the time you hit T2, your core is already fatigued. And this can lead to poor posture when you start running. And if you're running with an inefficient posture, you're going to have an inefficient stride, right? It's going to feel a lot harder to run off the bike because biomechanically your body is not in the right alignment even. So instead of running tall with a slight forward lean, athletes might start to collapse at the hips, you're rounding at your shoulders, and sometimes even then to compensate, you start to overstride. So it's of course it's wasting energy, but it just makes everything feel that much harder than it should at a given pace. So if you're like, you're running and you might feel like you're pushing a 7-8 minute pace and maybe it's a 9 minute pace, your RPE, your rate of perceived exertion, is not going to feel like it's lining up with what it should.
Yeah. Yeah. Just the body gets locked in, and it really these really are sort of compounding, right? You start with neuromuscular fatigue, you get the blood flow redistribution. And, because you've been in that position for so long, you've got that sort of, and you rely on your core so much, the posture just starts to break down.
Yeah.
Well, and if that isn't enough, the next thing to break down is sort of that mental transition, right? You've gone from being in an environment on a bike where you're actually, you feel quite a bit in control, right? Your power number, you got all the control in the world over the power number. Nice steady effort, no very little neuromuscular impact. But once you start running, there is no coasting. There is no easy spinning. There is, and guess what? Your feet are on the ground. You got to deal with it. So there's no hiding, and every inefficiency is going to get exposed. Mentally, this can be a little bit overwhelming, right? And you've gone from manageable to barely holding it together very quickly. So athletes who aren't prepared for that mental shift and have, oh, okay, I've done this before. I've experienced this, every weekend, let's just say, right? Because that's what you should be doing, right? I mean, doing this on a regular basis will really, really help you with this transition. So, yeah, it also will help you recognize the signals your body's giving you and how to pace, so you're not pushing too hard or mentally check out when things get too tough.
Yeah, I would say like there's definitely been times, especially when I first started racing, where in that first mile, 2 miles, you're like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. And you start questioning like where you're at, your ability physically, athletically to manage what's going on. And a lot of times it's mind over muscle sometimes when you get to that point. It's true. To hear the sirens in the background, like on point.
Totally on point. It's like almost like we planned it, like it's a music over or something like that.
It's an emergency, you guys.
It's an emergency.
Shut your mind off. Let your body do what it needs to do. So, anyway, transitioning. Let's talk a little bit about what are the most common reasons triathletes blow up, right? So we know physiologically what might be going on, but let's kind of dissect this a little bit. And I'm going to have you kind of kick us off, Coach Rich, with the most common reasons that we see triathletes blowing up.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so we just talked about why does it feel so hard? Well, now let's talk about some of the reasons that, there's one thing about it feeling hard. There's another thing about did you do something earlier that made you blow up on the run? Mm-hmm. And overbiking is item number one on my list because I am guilty as sin of this one. I can't help it, right? I get on the bike and I'm like, I know my number. I know what, and somebody passes me and I'm just like, I'm going to ride with them. I'm going to, not drafting, but you're like, I'm going to try to see if I can just stay with them or whatever.
Yeah.
And I love draft legal, right? Because it is like bike racing and I'm kind of I like bike racing. Biggest mistake you can make. You really when we talk about doing race rehearsals.
Yep.
If you're not doing the race rehearsal at the target power you want, you will not have a valid test, a valid rehearsal.
Mm-hmm.
So, and don't go to the race trying to beat your race rehearsal power,
Mm-hmm.
Really, especially early in the bike, trying to bank time. Not a good idea. This burns through glycogen, creates excess muscular fatigue, and sets up a cascade of problems later on. Trickiest part is often you feel strong getting off the bike, which creates a false sense of readiness until you're halfway through the run, and then the cost of overbiking really catches up with you. My coach, Coach Mark Allen, always advises build into the bike.
Yep.
Start your easiest, your first third should be your easiest. Your second third should be kind of around that kind of target. Maybe you're just under that target pace. And then that last third is, you're slowly building into it.
Yeah.
Instead of going the other way.
Yeah. I will be thinking about that first tip, definitely. So I've got Lake Placid in 3 weeks, and same thing. Coach K, my coach Kurt Madden, when we're talking about it, it's like you need to. For me, with my bike split, it's like by hour 4, you should feel like you still got something in the tank, like you can finish strong. Like, don't be sitting at mile 4 feeling like get me the heck off this bike, because if you blow up too soon and you're feeling like that at 4 hours, you still got quite a way to go once you get off that bike.
That's right. That's right.
You still need to have them running legs, guys. And I think that's the thing is, like, if you over bike, especially depending on the distance, right? If it's a half iron full distance, like it is, you still have a while to go. So if you over bike and you're cooked, you're really like not in a good spot on the run. So I think it's always trying to hold it back. And I love that, like first third, second third, final third, go. So, all right. Next up is poor fueling and hydration on the bike. This has been coming up a lot, actually, in my conversations with making sure that if you want to have a strong run, you need to be ahead of the game on the bike, because if you fall behind on the bike, you might never catch up on the run. And I feel like, actually, Coach Rich, when you and I talked about bonking, and it was like you had bonked on you had like 19 miles of the run that you were like not okay. And it's like, if you're not fueling well on the bike, not hydrating well on the bike, you're going to struggle on the run. So most run blowups are actually caused by mistakes made on the bike. If you underfuel, if you mistime your intake, and listen, I've definitely done this. I think every single person listening to this, if you've raced, it resonates with you. If you fall behind on hydration, your body will compensate for a while, right? We carb load, we've hydrated, we've taken our electrolytes, but eventually it's going to run out of available energy. It just is going to happen. So the run is where that deficit shows up. So you start to lose your pace. It's really hard for you to maintain your effort. You might start experiencing GI distress, which nobody wants to have on the run. Again, probably going to happen at some point. And even come down to having to walk. And while walking might be happening no matter what, it might be happening a lot more frequently than you want it to. So simply put, you're not just fueling on the bike, you're setting up the metabolic foundation for a successful run.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, think about this is all about the off the bike run, like how to have a good run off the bike. So much depends on the fueling and pacing and the effort on the bike. You just said it, Coach Lauren. Everything on the run, most things have to do with what happened on the bike. And no exception here is spiking your effort, whether it's on hills or on the wind. And listen, there are very few courses that don't have both of those, right? Or at least one of those, right? And the hardest ones have both, and heat, right? So there's a thing around having a constant power and not having a whole lot of variability. Think a variability index. If you're thinking about, like, you're using, like, Training Peaks, for example, that's the number you're looking at. What is that variability index in that bike effort? Is it a big swing? Is it a big number? Or do you keep that power pretty tight? Set an alarm, keep the effort high, right? If you need to, you're going up a hill, going into the wind, gear down, right? Keep your cadence where you need keep your cadence probably a little higher to keep from getting muscle fatigue, to save those muscles for the run later. But make sure you're trying to keep a constant power. And, one of the things you can also do as it relates to hills, if you're using RaceX, right? Go into RaceX, go into the planner, go into the grades tab, and you can create segments and you can see every segment, what the grade will be. And you can, have a plan for your power and cadence going into those segments.
Mm-hmm.
And for goodness sake, ride to the target power in RaceX, because overbiking that number won't set you up for success. That's supposed to be the number you're supposed to ride to have the best run split.
Right. Super important. I love RaceX.
Me too.
It's like it's your GPS. If you're not using it, use it.
That's right. That's right.
So, all right, moving on. This I'm super guilty of. This is going to be like, this is one that I'm like, shame on you, Lauren. Shame on you, La. Starting the run too fast. I always say, I literally just said this today talking to someone where I was like, you cannot go out like a freaking 5-year-old running a 1 mile fun run. And that is always how I go out. It's always, I'm like, I feel so good. I want to just go fast. So adrenaline, excitement, and like the relief of finishing the bike, that's absolutely real. But this can all trick you into running faster than you absolutely should be running in that first mile or two. And it's like, I mean, honestly, you get off the bike, and sometimes you get off the bike and you see your family there and you're like, woohoo, I made it. And like, so you're just like going, and then you look at if you're clocking yourself, you're like, oh my God, I'm running. Like, there are times where I look at it, I'm like, oh my God, I'm running like as if I'm literally running a 5K fresh, right? So the problem here is that this early surge really feels easy, but it's metabolically super duper expensive. So the early pacing mistake, it compounds over time, and this can lead to a dramatic slowdown later in the run. And the hard truth is that a lot of athletes don't realize that they've made this mistake until it's too late to recover. And if you're playing that catch-up game, that trying to resettle back into the pace that you should have settled into a mile ago, it can be a really hard catch-up game.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm guilty of this too. I did this my first Ironman. Like, it came out of transition and the crowd's there, you're on the beach and the music's playing and you're like, oh man, I'm Superman. Let's go. And you look down, you're like, wait a minute, that's gonna be a problem.
Yeah. You sure as heck ain't holding on to that for another 26 miles.
Yeah, heck no. In fact, actually, think about, the holding back, right? You're like, you might be like, you're struggling with that decision to hold yourself back because all the time you're losing. Think about how much time you're going to lose when you're walking later.
Yeah. Yeah.
The longer you can take to walk, especially on an Ironman, it's almost inevitably going to happen. You're going to, at some point walking on the run.
Yeah.
But the longer you could put that off, it's going to be dictated a lot by the effort that you put in earlier on. So anyway, that's a big one. Lack of brick training is another one. Like what we're talking about, like practicing this regularly. It's not enough just to do occasional bike off the run workouts. Get used to it so that it feels like, oh, I'm so used to this. It's almost like brushing your teeth every week. Without training your body to run at a goal pace and a goal cadence, off the bike and with good form. Like, that's the other thing. Like, really practice running with good form. Get your posture, good in that first 30 seconds. Breathe really well for, like deeply for 30 seconds as you are, like really get it into your diaphragm. Practice those things. Those will be tools that'll be invaluable on race day.
Yep. And that really goes right into the poor biomechanics that are going to happen under fatigue, right? So it's like we can all look at ourselves running fresh and be like, I got great form when I'm running. My posture is great. My stride looks good. But as the body tires, it's, again, it's inevitable. Breakdowns are going to happen. You're going to overstride. You're going to drop your cadence. You might start to see excessive vertical movement, upper body tension. And these inefficiencies, they do increase energy cost right when your available energy is already starting to be limited. So that's going to accelerate fatigue. It's going to contribute to that classic blow up feeling where just everything feels hard.
Yeah. And then we've got heat management, right? Which is a bigger issue on the run. Let's just face it, because you just have you got a bigger calorie load, right? So you're by virtue of burning more calories. I don't know. I mean, it's just pretty straightforward. You got a bigger calorie demand running than you do biking. That's going to raise your temperature in the same environment, and probably a warmer environment than it was on the bike. Because as the morning goes on or the afternoon goes on, whether you're running late morning or middle of the afternoon, it's going to be hotter. So that's also going to amplify some of the mistakes that happened earlier around pacing and hydration and nutrition. So this is sort of one of those bolt-on, reasons that things go bad on the run. It's not, but it also is, related to what happened earlier on.
Yeah, and it goes back to your even hydration and electrolyte strategy on the bike, because if you're not managing the expectation of the heat on the run and the sweat you're going to be losing on the bike, you're going to pay for it on the run. So
right, and keeping an eye on the gauges. And when I say keeping an eye on the gauges, keep an eye on the relationship between your pace and your heart rate. Right, know what normal is, and know how to diagnose. Okay, my heart rate is high. My rate of perceived exertion is this. That means I might be dehydrated, or
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And all of this comes together with a nice little bow on this final thought, is that you have a lack of race plan discipline. Stick to the plan, right? So ultimately, many blowups come down to execution errors. So it's not necessarily fitness, right? It's just that you're in the moment, you abandon your pacing strategy, your fueling strategy, or hydration, maybe fall off track based on how you're feeling in the moment. And I would say, I'm like, when you first get on the bike, of course you're going to feel great if you're just starting. At the start of the run, of course you're going to feel great. Oh, maybe you're just starting, and you're not thinking logically about why your plan was in place in the first place, right? So it's the challenge is that the short-term feelings, the excitement, the competitiveness, or even panic, because that also can play a part. It leads to decisions that hurt your long-term performance, because it's like you're thinking on emotion instead of logic. And so you need to think logically and not emotionally in the moment. And successful athletes, they stay disciplined, especially when it's really tempting not to, especially when you want to feel like a 5-year-old on a 1 mile fun run.
I just so love that imagery. I used to do a lead bike. So both my daughters went through cross country. So I was one of the, engaged, active. I always traveled with the team, and they went to, nationals or regionals, or whatever. But I would volunteer to ride the lead bike whenever they hosted the elementary school fun run. And it was just like you said, the first through third grade or first through second grade kids, they always came out faster than the other, 4 grades did. But they were also all just dying after the first 50 yards.
Yeah. It's the best. They're like, awesome. And they're like walking and collapsing. And
so cute. Oh, wow. Yeah, this was gold. These were some great tips. And listen, we're just going to leave you with just 5, key takeaways here. Listen, ride your race, not your fitness. Stick to your plan, power, effort zones. Ego riding destroys running legs. This we said a couple episodes ago. This is a thinking athlete's sport. You're going to be the race is going to judge you by the sum of your decisions and the sum of your choices. Normalize the first mile feeling. The first mile will feel awkward. Don't go chase pace too early. Do a cadence reset off the bike. Use quick, light steps early to help transition neuromuscular patterns. Fuel for the run during the bike. You're not fueling for the bike. You're also fueling for the run. Prioritize carbs late in the ride. You're going to need them, and then execute a controlled T2 exit, smooth, composed, and intentional. Don't sprint out of transition. There you go.
Love it. Yes, this was so many great tips, and we're going to shift gears to the fun segment that is going to be themed based off of this topic. So,
love this. Love
you
this.
Ready? You ready, Coach
Yes.
Rich?
Lay it on me.
All right. So,
what we got going on?
All right. Before we wrap up today's episode, you guys know it's time for a little self-assessment. So we're going to call this game Run Legs or Red Flags. Here's how it's going to work. So we're going to describe something that happens during the first few miles of a triathlon run. And then we're going to decide, and you guys decide along with us, whether it's run legs, so it's something that's totally normal, trust the process, keep executing, or is it a red flag? Your race plan is about to just leave the chat, you guys. So let's play. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
Lay it on me.
I'll kick it off with number 1. So you come out of T2, your legs feel awkward, stiff, completely disconnected from your body. Is this a run leg or a red flag?
Oh, I love this. Can I phone a friend on this one?
Phone a friend.
No, I'm just kidding. Hey, Coach April. Oh my God. I'm going to so do this. Let's just see if she answers.
Let's
okay.
see if she picks up. Oh, this will be
Are you ready for this?
Better put it on speaker. You guys.
Oh, yes. Okay. All right, here we go. Let's go. Coach April. See, if this goes to voicemail, man, I tell you what, we are going to have words.
And now we're like, we needed to phone a friend. We need to know your take, Coach April, on run legs or red flags.
But there we go. Okay, here we go. Ready? All right.
Let's phone a friend.
Speaker. Can you hear that?
I can hear it. Yeah, a little closer to the mic.
Hey, April, I'm so glad that you answered the phone. This is awesome. Listen, I'm recording a podcast with Coach Lauren.
Hey,
we're live and recording, and we're playing the game Run Legs or Red Flags. I got the first question here from Coach Lauren. You come out of T2 and your legs feel awkward, stiff, and completely disconnected from your body. Run legs or red flags? I asked if I could call a friend, phone a friend. I got permission. So here, what is it, April? What is it? Is it run legs or red flags?
Say it again, Rich. I'm sorry.
You're awesome. Here we go. You come out of T2 and your legs feel awkward, stiff, and completely disconnected from your body. Is that a red flag, or is that run legs? Those are run legs. All right. Coach Lauren, did I get that right? Do we know?
I agree that those are
agrees.
Run legs. Yes.
Yeah, I definitely think it takes like a little bit for those legs to come around, but that's normal.
Just want to thank you so much. That really helped me get through this first one.
You're only on the first one.
But that's okay. I think I've got it from here. You show me the way. But and also thanks for the cameo on the pod. By the way, I'm holding your picture up to the camera so people can see you.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
All right.
Enjoy the fun segment.
We will. We are, as you can tell.
Yeah, I can tell.
All right. See ya. Bye.
Bye.
That's awesome.
So funny.
All right. Are you ready for the question? You can phone a friend too if you want. All right. You look at your watch, Coach Law, and in the first mile, you realize you're running 30 seconds per mile faster than planned. Run legs or red flags?
I'm going to go with both. Can I go with both on this one? Because It is run legs, but it is a red flag that your booty better slow down.
I agree. I think that's right. I agree with that one.
Yeah. All right. You pass 20 people in the first half mile and immediately decide you're having the race of your life. Run legs or red flags?
For me, that would definitely be a red flag.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
no
mean,
way.
For me, that I usually pick people off on the run. I'm a little bit stronger on the run, but 20 people in the first half mile, that's a red flag. That means my butt is sprinting. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I'm used to this. So I'm like, okay, yeah. Hey, nice job. You're killing it.
Keep going.
All right. You miss an aid station because grabbing water could cost too much time. Run legs or red flags?
That's a total red flag.
Big time, right? Yeah.
Red flag all the way.
No friend call needed.
No. All right. You divide the run into smaller segments and focus on getting to the next landmark. Run legs or red flags?
Oh, I think this is a good run legs. Yeah, I love dividing the run up into segments. In fact, all my races, I'm like, that's a section, and that's a section, and that's a section.
I think those are actually smart run legs.
Yeah, thank you.
Right? Yeah,
thank you. I got some good run legs.
I agree with you. All right, at mile. Oh no.
Oh, we're all goofed up here, right? Are we good?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I've got to ask you.
Yeah.
All right, so let's put some context here. Mile 2 of a 70.3, a half Ironman, and you start doing the complicated finish time math at mile 2. Run legs or red flags?
That's a red flag to me. That to me is like, for me at mile 2, I'm kind of like settling into my groove. I'm not doing. I also don't do math. I will be like, I'm more of like, what pace am I just trying to hold? So I would say if I'm concerned at mile 2 and I still have 11 to go, and I'm trying to do the complicated math, I might say that's a red flag for me.
I think I agree with that too, right? Yeah, it's too early to be doing the math, right?
You still have 11 miles to go.
Well, and I think it could also be psychologically damaging, right? Because you might be going, wait a minute, I got to be out here for another hour and a half. Another, like, what?
Right. Like, how is my body feeling? I'm gonna have to do. Yeah.
Don't send your body that signal yet. Too early. I love your like, just focus on your pace and just get the pace right.
Yeah.
There's time for math later. That's actually that's how I know I'm in zone 4. I can't do math anymore in my head.
Yeah. And also the reality is like, don't worry about the math. You got to run by how you're feeling at that moment. Also, if you're like, but if you're just starting to try to do the math and you're like, oh, well, then I should be going a certain pace, and you're really not in a position to be going that pace, you might also be screwing yourself, right? Like if you're like, oh, well, if I do the math, then I should actually be running at like a 7:45 pace, and I'm not there. So now I'm going to try to run faster, even though I'm tanked right now. You might be hurting yourself.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. You start telling yourself, this feels almost too easy. Run legs or red flags?
First of all, I hope to dear God that happens on Sunday. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
But it is what you do with that signal next that matters.
Yeah.
I would say that is a run legs, and you can keep it a run legs as long as you make a smart decision. Some of your choices. If you take that feeling and go, oh, this feels, I'm going threshold pace here, or the target pace. It feels too easy. That's a great thing to feel. Yeah. That means you took care of things up front. Way to go, Joe. What you don't want to do is now go, oh, well, then I can just run 30 seconds a mile faster than I normally have in all of my running and training. That would be a red flag.
Yeah. I'm going to go optimistic and go run legs. Hell yeah, go for it. There.
Yeah. All right. I love this. This has been so much fun. Final question. Lauren, you're halfway through the run. Your pace is nice and steady. Posture looks really strong. Stayed on top of the fueling. And And suddenly all these athletes who were flying by you earlier are now coming back to you. Run legs or red flags?
Let's see, all those athletes who flew by. That is run
Now you're
legs.
passing them. Now
That
you're
is
passing
run
them.
legs, baby. You run.
You run for the door. There, you got it. Run like you stole something, Law.
Yep. Run it like you stole it. Yep. Same for you, I'm guessing, right?
Well, if I'm on the back half, I certainly am feeling a little bit like I know that I paced it better than them.
Yeah. That's always a good sign. So this was so much fun. I hope you guys were playing along with us and have some really, really great takeaways from tonight's podcast. So just a reminder that the best run splits in triathlon rarely look dramatic. They look disciplined. And that's the lesson, right? You don't find your run legs on race day. You earn them through smart biking, smart fueling, and smart execution, because the run isn't where the race begins. It's where all your decisions, I love this, finally show up.
The phrase that I love is bike for show, run for dough, right?
Yes.
If you overbike, you're just being a showboat. It's the run is where the money happens. So folks, and on top of all this, listen, don't forget your Vespa as you go out the door here, visiting us this week. Vespa Power Endurance. This is not a nutrition product per se. It's not a fuel, but it's a metabolic catalyst. It really helps you shift your body into using more fat and less glycogen as your fuel source, or sugar as your fuel source. I keep forgetting. We're going to do this like next week. I swear. In the middle of the podcast, I'm going to take Vespa. We're going to record what my metabolic substrate that I'm burning is, the fat versus sugar. Then I'm going to take a Vespa, and then we're going to record it again, like after 30 minutes, like at the end of the podcast. We got to do that next week.
Cool.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
So check it out. We've got a link here in the show notes. You can check it out yourself. There's a code here, G to G Vespa 15, easy for me to say. And you'll get 15% off of everything in your cart all the time. So, hey, I guess with that, we're going to sign off. This has been awesome, Law. Love doing this with you.
This was great. I loved it.
Yeah, we're gonna send you good vibes here for Boulder this weekend. And folks following us here, thanks for spending time with us this week on the Grit to Greatness Endurance podcast. We hope that you're following us on our newsletter. If you're not subscribed on our newsletter, go to our website, subscribe, check us out, check out the swag, check out the mugs, check out the hats, check out the shirts. And if you enjoyed the podcast, please follow us. Leave us a rating and a review on Apple Podcasts or YouTube. This helps us reach more athletes just like you. Stay gritty, train smart, and keep chasing greatness. Hey, we're going to catch you next week.